Thank you so much for stopping at our booth today. Can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, well, thank you, first of all, for being here at NTA. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm excited to actually see the United States Department of Commerce here. 2 years ago, Plimoth Plantation, which is a 17th century living history museum in Plymouth, Massachusetts, which tells the stories of the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Native Americans in the year of the 1600s, had the pleasure of receiving a call from the United States Department of Commerce, the Sabbath Niche Tourism Program, which started 3 years ago, and asked if we would be involved with training former Soviet Union tourism officials in explaining how we as a non-profit museum operates and maybe helping them to be able to establish tourism programs back in their country. I'm going to keep going. Okay. It was a pleasure 2 years ago. We learned 2 years ago, when we actually hosted them, we had a full day of seminars and presentations on varied subjects that we thought that they would be interested in. We hosted them for one of our famous themed dinners, all about Thanksgiving, so they had a turkey buffet, and that was fun because back in their country they don't have that element. And we talked about how we interact with our RTCs and our Massachusetts Office of Tourism and Travel. We learned as much as they did, and we had a phenomenal time. So when they walked away, we offered for them, and they were definitely interested in coming back in 2011. Knowing what we learned from 2010, we developed the program in a very different way. We learned that most of the former Soviet Union countries used to be 100% funded by their government and are now looking for ways to establish themselves with other funding sources. With that, we brought in elements of partnering with the town of Plymouth and with the Massachusetts Office of Tourism and Travel and letting them know of other opportunities. We also had the unique pleasure this year of having an intern work this summer at Plimoth Plantation. We have a great intern program for tourism industry college students. And he was from Tajikistan. And he came over when we first met him, very shy, very sad, having not seen his people, his family over in Tajikistan for quite some time. And when he heard that we were hosting this group, of which a few of them were from his country, we immediately began to change up the training program we had for him. And we involved him in every single aspect of the development of the training program. And he ended up coming with us. He greeted all of the people when they first arrived in Russian, and it just set a wonderful beginning of our program. He now has connections back in his country that if he decides to go back and be involved in the tourism program, he's all set. They were so impressed with what he did. They were impressed with Plimoth Plantation being involved with the international tourism students. And we are so excited and waiting for the call right now to be able to host once more the Sabbath Niche Tourism Program with the former Soviet Union.
Janet, what an exciting program. Thank you so much for helping the U.S. Commercial Service grow exports.
Well, thank you.